Access Sportsnet Lakers, driven by your Southern California Honda dealers. After win, it's the next 90 minutes. We're coming at you strong, breaking it all down. Chris McGee, James Worthy, Robert Ory. You've won 7 titles. You've won 3. We got Allie Clifton here. We got Brez working remotely. Treadell. They'll have all the interviews for you. The Lakers do something they have not done yet in the bubble. James and Rob. They lead a series 1-0. An absolute dominant performance, both ends of the floor.
Yes, it was a killer performance by the Lakers. Defensively, I like the way they put Jokic on notice, and they said, you know what, we're going to bully ball you, we're going to play you rough. We're not going to let you just be comfortable out there. I always talk about when the offense can come down and run their system comfortable. And if you want to go out and say, hey, I'm going to make you uncomfortable, I'm going to get up in you and make you do some things you don't want to do. But, you know, Murray had a good game, but the key is keeping everybody else down. They kept Jokic down, and I talked about Harris in the pregame show. They kept him down. So the defense, we can talk about the offense, them scoring 126 points, but the defense was great, I thought, on the key guys.
Yeah, I thought in the playoffs, it's all about disruption. You know, 7 games, you're going to have to disrupt something. I think the time off for the Lakers paid off. They did a really good job of disrupting, you know, the offense. I thought Dwight Howard coming in, getting physical with Jokic, kind of got him off his game a little bit, because now you got to, you know, you just can't move freely like you want to. Rondo, an exceptional game, 9 assists, no turnovers. He set up so many people tonight, particularly the bigs, and he also scored. So I think overall the Lakers did a good job. You know, they did what they're supposed to do in a game 1. They are the better team, I think, collectively. And I think they set out notice that this is who they're going to be playing against. Defense was outstanding.
Glad you mentioned Dwight. I feel like everyone thought, oh, we got ourselves a series the minute Dwight came in the game, and he got everyone going for both sides. Let's check in with Mike Treadell. Dwight is standing by.
All right, Dwight Howard, you entered the game in that first half and just made an immediate impact on Nikola Jokic. You talked about how it was important for you to stay up at this level after not playing as much in the Houston series. How did you stay engaged like that mentally and come in and make the kind of impact you made tonight?
Well, you know, I knew that last series, Coach, he told me before the games that, you know, it's going to be tough for the bigs to play because of how Houston played. So he said just be prepared for the next series, get your mind and your body right to go to battle against whoever we play next. And that's what I try to do, just stay in the gym, stay focused, and stay locked in.
Dwight, you had 2 blocks and 2 steals in the first 4 minutes that you were in the game, so I think that backs up your last point. But what was the defensive game plan for you guys as a group that allowed you to impact the Nuggets like you did, especially in those middle 2 quarters, holding them to about 20 points per quarter?
Just be physical, just agitate them, just pressure the ball, you know, make them make tough plays, and just stay locked in. You know, they're a very good offensive-minded team. They got a lot of guys who can put big numbers up. So the biggest thing to do is just be aggressive, but use our intelligence. You know, we got some very smart basketball players on our team, and we want to use that against this team.
Dwight, you guys had lost game 1 of the first 2 series before rolling off 4 wins in each of them. Did that impact at all your prep for this one and wanting to get off on the right foot from the jump against a Denver team that had just played a tough 7-game series?
It did. It's very true. You know, we didn't want to come out tonight and give them any confidence or hope. We wanted to come out tonight and smash them from the beginning of the game to the end. And I thought we did that for the most part, you know. So we know they're a very good team. They're well coached. They have a lot of guys who can come in and, you know, do some great things. So we didn't want to give them any confidence.
And Dwight, just last one for you. What's it been like for you playing next to LeBron and AD? The length, the athleticism of that unit. You came in, you started the second half. What's important with the group that you guys have there and all that size?
Well, one is experience. You know, we played a lot of games in this league. We've been to the playoffs. You know, LeBron has been to multiple finals. So is Doe. And, you know, we just want to go out there and just give everything we got. You know, we're one step closer to all of our dreams. So we know how important this game was. And we just are glad we just came out and did what we were supposed to do.
All right, thanks a lot, Dwight.
I want to talk Dwight first because Mike just talked to him. 16 minutes. 13 points, got to the line, was disruptive, caused havoc, but also, I'm trying to find the right analogy, but it's almost like you're You were just in your house and you weren't allowed to go play when all your friends are out there and you're just waiting, but you got to finish up your chores or whatever it is for like a week. And then all of a sudden, mom and dad said, go ahead. I mean, he went out there with some energy, maybe some pent-up frustration, whatever it was, and just took it to him, James, from the get-go. And when I say earlier it became a series, all of a sudden Dwight was John. Things were getting chippy. Nuggets started talking. I'm like, here we go. This is what it's got to be. This is the Western Conference Finals. But then Vogel starts him in the third quarter. And that's when the Lakers made that huge run.
Yeah, I think, Dwight Howard and McGee had probably the best attitudes on the team because they're not just sitting over there, waiting for playing time. They're over there helping teammates out, and they're also studying, what they need to do. I think both he and McGee, Howard and McGee, knew that coming into the Nuggets series that they were going to have a role to play. And I'm not talking about scoring a lot of points or anything like that, even though they're both capable. And then at the same time, Dwight Howard does what he does best. He blocks shots, he gets alley-oops, he rebounds, and he just gets in the way. And I think that's a big role that he's playing, and I think it's going to have to continue against this team.
I think the biggest key is if you look at this Laker team and you said, who are the two strongest guys on this team, you're going to say LeBron and Howard. And if you look at the way Jokic plays, he's very crafty. He reminds me of Karl Malone where he sticks that big chicken wing up and he pins you. Yeah. And with Dwight, you can't do that with Dwight because he's too big, he's too strong, so you can't move him as easy. So it's frustrating Jokic. And so now Jokic has to go back into the lab and figure out what does he have to do against Dwight. But then if that works against Dwight, you bring in McGee. So you got an array of guys you can throw at him to keep him off balance.
Rob, I can't hammer home this point enough. How hard is it as a player, and you guys know, to not play in a series, to watch in a bubble and just watch your team win, cheer everybody on, stay mentally engaged and physically? You have to play 5-on-5. You got to keep your cardio going. How hard is that for a guy that's been in the league and done what he's done?
I know how hard it is. James has never experienced this, but I got my first DNP in a playoff game.
When was that?
And when I was with the Spurs, my last year with the Spurs. And it did something to me mentally, but I realized it's bigger than me. And so the first game that happened to me, I was like, oh, crap, what's going on? I'm hating everybody, storm out the locker room. But you can see these guys. It doesn't bother them. And I love the fact that Vogel went to them before the game and told them what's going on. That's a sign of a good coach because a lot of coaches, you be sitting there waiting when your minutes come up, oh, where am I, where am I?
So you didn't know you were.
You didn't notice, but when the coach comes to you and tell you, hey, this is my game plan, guys appreciate that. It's like, okay, you let me know I'm not just floundering in the wind. So he tells the guys that he's not going to play, but stay ready because we're going to need you in the next series. And you can tell Dwight Howard was like that kid, has been locked up on a snow day, and now he gets to go play, and he's playing. So he's taking advantage of his opportunity.
Yeah, I mean, here's a guy that when he joined the Lakers, we all know the history from 8 years ago. It was the first year of our network. We all know what happened the next 5-6 years, changing teams all the time, and he comes over on a non-guaranteed contract. He had to be on his best behavior, but he just continued down that path. But from, what was it, game 1, game 2, James? The crowd embracing Dwight, it was just complete turnaround. And to see this tonight, awesome.
Yeah, Dwight has evolved over his career. He's had a great career. I think he's a future Hall of Famer. But, he had to sit with himself. We talked about that. Came here to the Lakers the first time, exited after the billboards and all that. But when he came back with a different mentality. He brought the same game, but he came back with a different mentality, which was more about team and not about me. He wasn't looking for plays to be called for him. He's seeking a championship. He's one of the best centers defensively that's ever played in this game. So his attitude is I think, what has, propelled him to being consistent, well-liked, and productive. And I just like what he's been able to do for this team.
And I like that this coaching staff and this team, you're able to make adjustments. That's what a series is all about. We saw it in Portland. We saw it again in Houston. And they did that. They said, we're going with Dwight to start the third quarter, even though they usually go to JaVale.
Well, in today's game, in the last, say, 7-8 years, since Golden State started with the small ball, I think a lot of bigs expect this sometimes. They expect when teams like Houston go small and other teams go small, there's no place for them out there if they are a liability. So I think bigs accept that, especially during the playoffs when they know there's a possibility to play in the next round. Been encouraging their teammates, been watching a lot of video of Denver probably, and they were ready.
As I told you guys before, 90-minute post game after wins. We got a lot to get to. AD's big night. We're going to hear from LeBron. We're going to hear from AD.